All right, so now we're doing these problems, page 54, numbers 1 through 4. All right, so the first one says, hang on, let me reposition my lamp. There we go. The first one says, which of the following is the domain? All right, and these are non-calculator. So f of x equals negative log base 2 of x plus 3. Okay, and then it says, what's the domain? Well, this is actually one of our domain rules, which says that you set the inside. Actually, let's talk about it with shifting. I think that's better. Okay, log base anything. If it's greater than 1, it's rising. If it's less than 1, like it's a fraction, bigger than 0 but less than 1, it's falling. So here is my picture, with that being 1, and this being a vertical asymptote. Okay, so now so this is y equals log base a, excuse me, of x. Okay, so now this says to go left by 3, you do opposite of the inside, and this says to flip over the x-axis. All right, in other words, change your y's from positive to negative. Okay, so I'm going to flip it, and it doesn't matter which one you do first, just do all your x's, then all your y's is what I generally do. So I'm going to go left 3. So that would still hit the next point to the right, and then I'm going to flip it. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so the domain would be negative 3 to infinity. Which is C. Okay. Number 2 says, which of the following is the range of f of x equals 5 cosine of x plus pi plus 3. Range. Okay, well, that's the y values, so I don't really need this, okay? But you know that cosine is between negative 1 and 1 for cosine. Now this says multiply by 5, and this says add 3. So multiply by 5 and add 3. Multiply by 5, add 3, because this is outside and outside. So same operation. So that'd be negative 5 plus 3, which is negative 2. And then this would be 5 plus 3, which is 8. So negative 2 to 8, which is D. Oops, that's a y value. So again, I just thought of my shifting rules. I just didn't graph it this time, but you could. Cosine. It starts up and it looks like this, right? So then this multiplies by 5. So this would stretch by 5 this way and this way. So stretch vertically by 5 and then shift up 3. So that's how I chose to do it, as I just took the y's that I knew it was blocked between, because cosine is blocked between those. And this also shifts it left by pi, but it's not necessary because I'm only asking about the range, not the domain. This one also, I was only asking about the domain and not the range, so I didn't really care about this one. Okay. I only cared about what this did. Also, for this one, you could have used a domain rule and just said x has to be greater than negative 3, because x plus 3 has to be greater than 0 from our domain rules on the memorization sheet. Okay? All right, so lots of ways to approach it. So anyway, that's D for that one. And then number 3 says, which of the following gives the solution of tangent of x equals negative 1 in pi is less than x is less than 3 pi over 2. Okay, well, this is just a unit circle question. Where is tangent negative 1? Where x and y are the same, well, same absolute values, but opposite in like their signs, so negative and positives. So this is all students take calculus. Tangent is negative. Well, tangent is positive here and here. That's a little saying, all students take calculus. And you just kind of rotate around like you do your quadrants. but then this is who is positive where. So all of them are positive here. Sine is positive here. Tangent's positive here. And cosine's positive here. Okay? And then they're also their reciprocals. So it would be actually sine and cosecant, tangent and cotangent, cosine and secant. Okay? All right. But the big guys. So tangent is positive here and here, which marks those out because I want negative. So it's got to be here or here. Now it says between pi and 3 pi over 2. So this is pi, and this is 3 pi over 2. That is none of them. Which of the following gives the solution of... Yeah, because tangent's positive there, because that'd be negative. That is a mistake in the book. Because this would be positive, and that's between pi and 3 pi over 2. You can't have that. You could have between pi over 2 and pi, okay, but not between pi and 3 pi over 2. So that is an incorrect, which, so it would be none. But let's fix it and change this so that you have some good notes on it. So let's say between... yeah, because they say it's E. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Did they say it's E? Yeah, they say it's E, but you can't have tangent being negative there at 5 pi over 4. This would be 5 pi over 4, but tangent, this is negative and negative, so sine over cosine is positive 1. Okay, so let's just change this to a positive 1. Okay, then it would be 5 pi over 4 would be the answer, which would be E. Okay, but I will go back and give you all a point for that one because that was a mistake in the book. Okay, all right, and then 4 says, let me change the page. Can't get it. All right, and then 4 says, let f of x equal 5x minus 3. And then they want to know, sorry. So, and then they want to find the inverse, g of x. So, first of all, you just say, you switch the x's and y's. So y equals 5x minus 3, then switch them. So x equals 5y minus 3. Then solve for y. So x plus 3 equals 5y. So x plus 3 over 5 equals y. So that would be your g of x because they said to name it g of x. And lots of you had like 1/5 x plus 3/5. I love that answer. That's perfectly fine. Okay. All right, so that's the answer. And they didn't have a multiple choice for this one, so that's it. And then it says compute f of g and g of f. Okay. Oh, b. Okay, so f of g of x is f of x plus 3 over 5, see, because g goes on the inside, and then take that and put it into f, which is right here. So that'd be 5 times x plus 3 over 5, see, put it right there, minus 3. Now your 5's cancel, so you get x plus 3 minus 3, which is x, which proves that they are inverses. Now C says do g of f of x. So that's going to be g of 5x minus 3. And now plug that in there. So that would be 5x minus 3 plus 3 over 5. These cancel. So you get 5x over 5, which is, oops, not the x. Which is x. And you should get x because they are inverses. So both of those you should get x.